Goeiedag! Good day, fellow South Africans and citizens of the world. And you know what? It is so fascinating because governments around the world are trying to fudge the coronavirus impact on their citizens. And probably there's no greater country that's fudging its figures than South Africa, which is clearly using the secondary death cause as the reason for someone dying, like swine flu, even though the so-called swine flu was caused by the coronavirus. That's how they get around the problem. Now, what we're talking about is what's happening in Iran. Yeah, that Middle Eastern country where coronavirus apparently is just going rampant. At least 210 people have died from coronavirus in Iran, according to BBC News, which is 6 times higher than the official death toll from the Iranian government. Officially, Iran says 34 people have died, but BBC spoke with sources in the country's health system that said otherwise. That's a British Broadcasting Corporation, the BBC. Iran has the highest mortality rate from coronavirus in the world and has become the new focal point for the virus in recent days, amid growing fears of a pandemic. The US State Department has offered to help Iran handle the crisis. Iran's Deputy Health Minister, Iraj Haririshi, on Monday denied there was an effort to cover up the extent of the virus. During a press conference on Monday, Haririshi appeared physically uncomfortable. By the next day, he announced he had contracted coronavirus. Now, I've actually covered that with the video footage, so it's actually on the 2020 channel if you want to go and have a look at that. One of Iran's vice presidents, Masumeh Ebtekar, has also been infected. Now, you can imagine it's going through the whole government because someone in the government's got it. And she's been seen in meetings with Iranian President Hassan Rouhani and the Iranian cabinet as recently as Wednesday. So there's a good chance it's going to get to the president as well, or vice president. The fact senior members of the government are coming down with the virus has raised concerns about public health experts who've suggested the scale of the outbreak in the country could be far higher than the leadership is letting on. The official number of confirmed cases of the virus in Iran is 338, but the actual number of infected could be closer to 23,000, according to researchers at the University of Toronto and Dalla Lana School of Public Health, per the Wall Street Journal. Friday prayers were cancelled in Iran due to coronavirus, which is an exceptionally rare occurrence in Iran and underscores the severity of the outbreak. Iranian lawmakers have also tested positive for the virus, and Iran's parliament has been suspended indefinitely. Iran has been rocked by a massive protest in recent months linked to the country's struggling economy, but also after the drowning of Ukraine International Airlines Flight 752 last month. The Ukrainian flight was accidentally shot down by Iran after it launched a missile attack on US forces, which was retaliation for a US drone strike that killed its top general, Qasem Soleimani. At first, Iran denied any responsibility for the plane crash, but the government later said human error brought on by fear of a US military retaliation was to blame. Of 176 people killed in the crash, 82 were Iranian. Anger over the government's role in the crash led Iranians to flood the streets in protest. Despite the contradiction between the media and government reports, the scale of the coronavirus outbreak, it's unlikely that Iranian government will shift course in the near future, according to a top expert in the region. Hussein Ibish, a scholar at the Arab Gulf States Institute in Washington, said, "My sense is that Iranian officials tend to default to telling people what they think is politically beneficial. In other words, they tend to lie a lot. Because they do have politics in Iran, and because the Iranian autocracy is relatively sophisticated, they can sometimes see that fessing up to difficult admissions is better than continuing to lie." Ibish added, citing Iran's eventual acknowledgement of responsibility in the Ukrainian plane incident. But the coronavirus outbreak is a more complicated and hazy situation than the plane crash. Ibish said, so Iran will probably continue to try to deceive the public. The global death toll from the coronavirus outbreak is now over 2,800, with more than 83,000 people infected. The vast majority of cases are in China, where the virus originated, but it's been detected in dozens of other countries, and the US has been urged by health officials to prepare for severe disruptions to daily life. So there you go. The sources I'm hearing from say that it's running into the millions of people globally that have now been affected by the coronavirus. But governments are trying to cover their tracks. All right, guys, please remember to subscribe to be kept informed. Ring the bell for the updates. Please like this video. Please share this video. And above all, please stay safe.